Right now we're going to make an onion quiche. I started cutting up about 1.5 pounds of onions, and again, depending on the size of your dish, could be a little bit more, could be a little less. But we're going to take several onions. This is probably a total of 3 onions here, and I'm going to add 2 more, but again, it all depends on the size of your dish. Just to let you know, I preheated the oven to 425, and I've set aside a buttered baking dish. Again, it could be any size you like. This is about 11 inches in diameter, but it could be just about anything. So we're going to, first of all, slice up the onions. We're going to saute them on the stovetop. So we're just going to start by slicing them really thinly. And again, it doesn't have to be fancy because they're all going to be sauteed together first so they're nice and soft. Okay, so just really quick slicing. All done. All right, let's get all of these in. And then we'll go over to the stovetop and we'll start sauteing them. There we go. Okay, I'm going to cook these onions in a couple tablespoons of butter and a little bit of olive oil. And the butter gives them a lot of flavor, which is great. There are a lot of onions here, so this will spread itself out nicely. And then the olive oil keeps the butter from burning because the butter has not quite a high heating points as the butter. So plus, it's a nice mixture. Onions, olive oil, butter. It's pretty yummy. Okay. In with the onions. All the onions. Woo. Okay. Well, this is actually quite a large pot of onions. Okay. Again, you can just kind of play this by ear. We're going to mix all the onions out, and you're going to let them sweat down a little bit. And as my mom keeps reminding me, the best way to get onions to sweat, to release their juices and start cooking down, is to put a little bit of salt on them right away, and that gets them moving. So we need to season this anyway. So I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of salt, maybe a little bit more. We'll go ahead and put in the pepper, a few grinds. Again, we can come back and season it later, but just to get it going. I'm also going to use thyme. You can use fresh thyme if you have some. I had some today, but kind of ran out. So I'm going to use some of the dried thyme that I got from my garden last year. Again, here, about a teaspoon or 2 of dried, and you might use up to 1.5 tablespoons of fresh thyme. But that's really nice because that'll sit and start heating up really nicely with the onions. We are going to actually cover this in a little bit just to let it steam. But there's one more thing I want to add in here, and that's a little nutmeg. You can take your little nutmeg nuts and just do it right into the pot. It's super easy. And that smell of the nutmeg will be great with onions. It's going to be really good with all the egg and milk of the... Whew, that looks good. We might add a little bit more later if we need some more. So in that goes. I'm going to keep stirring it, make sure they don't stick. We don't want the onions to burn, but we do want them to be soft. And they're all going to shrink down, get really nice and soft. Okay, we're going to leave that for a minute and come over and make some of the egg good stuff to put on top of all this. So the batter that's going to go over all those onions are 4 eggs and some half and half. So we're going to just whisk this all together in a bowl. It's really easy. Woo-hoo. 1 egg there. 2. Ooh, sorry. Smash in there. Okay, 4 eggs. This will be just kind of the quiche glue that holds all those onions together. Give it a quick whisk. Okay, good. All mixed together, and then we're going to pour in about 1/3 cup of half and half. And you could use heavy cream, you could use all kinds of stuff, but this is plenty. Whoops. Roughly. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right, so that's it for the batter. Go back and check on those onions. Let's check back on those onions. Oh yeah, they're coming. Oh yes, I was going to put a lid on this. And, excuse me a second, here's our lid. All right, so they are getting soft, which is great. They'll get a little bit softer if I can put a lid on them, and then they'll steam a little bit, so they'll get softer even faster. All right, let's check the onions one more time because I think they're almost done. Remember, this is just the first part of the cooking. Then we're going to put them in the oven. So, oh yeah, they're doing great. Give one little stir. Okay, off at the stove, and let's take them over to the pan. And dump all these right into the pan. So, okay, no pattern, just pile them. You want to get all that nice goop on the bottom. There's lots of nice onion juice and thyme and a little butter and olive oil. So in they go. Pile them up. Spread them around nice and thick. Great. Then, before we put them in the oven, we're just going to pour over the egg mixture. So that's evenly spread around and soaks in and among and between and around. There we go. Oof. Like a big omelet with a whole bunch of onions. So. Excellent. Okay. All right, guys, spread around. Okay, the last final touch before we put it in the oven, we're going to put a few more spices on that we're going to bring back over. So we will add just a teeny bit of salt across the top. Just give it a final little flavoring at the top. A little more pepper. There we go. And then just a final little grating of nutmeg. So, whoops. Sorry, Mr. Nutmeg. You're still going to be fine. Okay. Just a taste. There we go. Okay, he's done. So, let's put it in the oven, which again is at 425. And it's going to be in the oven, oh, I can't remember. Is it 25? It's about 25 or 30 minutes. You might want to check it at 25. Again, like the cherry quiche before us, it is a little warm, but it's not too hot. Once it's done, the egg mixture is going to be nice and firm. So in it goes for about 30 minutes, and it'll get nice and golden brown, and it'll be perfect. Okay, so this is an item that's going to be really tasty warm. You know, it's actually kind of nice served warm. You know, you could serve it with a side of salad. You could serve it as a side with any main dish. Or some nice crusty bread for lunch. It's also really nice room temperature. You know, you could throw in a little goat cheese or something like that. But it's great warm or cold. So there you go, a crustless onion quiche with a little bit of thyme.